Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod with Will Haire. Today, he is CEO and co-founder at Bellavix. We're going to talk about Amazon PPC, Amazon ads, Amazon agencies, being an Amazon seller, and so forth, and probably a bit more also on the Walmart front of things. I'd love to learn more as well because I had various Amazon ads agencies as clients. They typically do well. If I would have to restart my nootropic business or any kind of physical product in this day and age, which I will do, by the way, I would focus on Amazon. I would also focus on cold email and getting into retail. So Will is, the founder at that agency. He's been like 4 years at it. And before that, he did a lot of PPC management at other companies, which we might want to talk about today. Before we do, this podcast is brought to you by podfire.com, which is my podcasting agency for folks that do want to start their own podcast, that do want to scale their own podcast. Because I speak to a bunch of folks that do have their existing pods, yet they're not making any buck out of it. Oh, should I go with sponsors? Should I have a back-end funnel, a community? Should I go with remarketing? Should I sell my services? So I help monetize podcasting. And podcasts are just great if you aren't on trend, if you don't consume them. Well, they're an amazing way if you have your own pod to learn on a 10x level, if not 100x. Nowadays, I interviewed 15 CEOs, and that's quite amazing for my brain. Plus, you get to network with folks like Will. We'll be connected for life, and God knows that a lot of money can be generated there. You can even make friends. Who knows? So if you want to start your own pod, scale it, podfire.com. Will, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about your Amazon and Walmart ad/PPC agency?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great introduction. As somebody who primarily gets their news from podcasts, I can relate to the significance of it. I start my day with Morning Brew. I listen to a lot of other e-commerce centric podcasts, and I have a couple fun ones too. My name's Will Haire. I'm the CEO and founder of Bellavix. Bellavix is a marketplace management agency. We help brands scale on marketplaces through operational performance, marketing, search engine optimization, and advertising. So we're a turnkey option. We do Amazon and Walmart full channel support, so ops and advertising. We also do target ads. So we focus primarily on 3 marketplaces, Amazon, Walmart, and Target. And Amazon makes up a majority of the brands we work with because it's the largest marketplace, so no surprise about that. And as an agency, we do operational support, so inventory management, logistics, so on and so forth. But more importantly, advertising, which is a big part of what we do. And we advertise via pay-per-click or programmatically through Amazon's demand-side platform, so the ability to build audiences and generally solve for sales stagnation, which is a big benefit of working with an agency in Amazon's partner network.
Start with your background here. I see you started in the US Navy. How did that help you build the mindset that you applied to your agency today?
Awesome, man. Digging deep, Charlie. I like it. Yeah, so the military showed me a lot about discipline, showing up on time, even when you don't want to, always being there and present. So I learned a lot of good management processes because everything is SOPs. I thought was just a Navy thing. SOPs are all over the place, but my first exposure to standard operating procedures was through the military. First following them, then writing them, which was great. And then a lot of just working with people and learning how to be a leader within an organization. So got a lot of experience there. I was only active for 5 years, so my course took me out of that and into school and all that other fun stuff. But a lot of people don't know I'm actually a licensed electrician. I got before I left the power industry, probably 15 years of power industry experience, so working with big gas turbines and stuff like that. So I've had quite a fortunate career path that got me here.
What about your experiences to all of these other agencies? Did that led you to be like, yo, I'm gonna start my own agency. I don't like to be told what to do, or I can potentially do it better. I want to be fully responsible in my destiny here. What were the motivations to start your own agency there?
Yeah, you knocked out a bunch of them, but financial freedom and general freedom to control my destiny is probably the biggest motivator. I left from the power industry. I pretty much left a comfortable six-figure job with some young kids on the way to go start the agency experience in life, and it was definitely worth it, but it was scary at first. But now, yeah, now real lucky. Um, the entrepreneurial life is definitely hard work, a lot of responsibilities, but there's a lot of benefits in terms of how much you can make in an annual period, the type of investments you can make to grow either your brand, your portfolio, like whatever your passions are, and the ability to really control your calendar. So those were some major factors that led me to decide I think I'm going to do this on my own.
What challenges have you faced since then, and how did you resolve these?
Yeah, long list of challenges. So I don't know if we have like a full day, but some super high level. Scalability has always been challenging. So I'd say like our first threshold, um, it was pretty easy to get to like 750,000 in revenue by just being pretty persistent with people in your network and getting sales. From the recruiting perspective, myself, my co-founder, and a couple early hires were able to deliver a lot of the work, and the business never got bigger than myself or my co-founders. So like there were some challenges in like creating operational procedures, where you fit in the marketplace, who's your ideal customer profile. We weren't doing any EOS stuff, so we had meetings, but they weren't all like level 10 meetings. We were doing annual planning or quarterly planning. We do rocks now. So like a lot of that stuff we didn't even know about and we weren't doing. And then I would say a couple of years in, we hired a business coach, another agency owner who's scaled and sold multiple agencies. Um, and working with him has really helped us in terms of consistent processes for client delivery, consistency in our goals as a business, setting them and working towards them. And then to the point we're at now, where hiring a team that's better than you to do the job. So it's been a lot of learning. You know what I mean? Like just got new problems now around recruiting and sales, and how do you level up, whether long-term marketing content we should be creating, and how the hell do you do event marketing. So the challenges have changed, but it's been a pretty rewarding journey, and I'm learning a lot as an executive in this business.
And exiting, is that your goal? And if so, when?
Yeah, I'm not
And for how
sure.
much?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to exiting for the right amount. But it's hard to say what, yeah, selling, sure. I mean, maybe in a couple years. I'm enjoying the journey now, and I'm not at a point where I think I'm ready to sell. But I'm also not against hiring a CEO uh, and having them run the business on our behalf, and then moving on to other things. What probably similar to you, Charlie. Ideally, we'll be stepping into some more spaces. What I learned from marketing and in general, like I can run a human service oriented business. So maybe my next business doesn't necessarily have to be something in Amazon, but there's lots of unsexy car washes and laundromats that can be pretty lucrative, and are probably a little easier in their own ways to market and sell. Um, so I don't have a sellout date, not yet.
But to do so, you need to have your business fully SOP'd, and you need to have a
Yeah.
bunch of systems and AIs. Tell us about your SOPs, tell us about your systems and potential technologies, even softwares that you're using to make your business streamlined and well oiled.
Yeah, so SOPs is a process. We have ClickUp is our task management system. So the team creates SOPs pretty regularly. We have hundreds at this point for all aspects of Amazon, and every 6 months they get updated. And we use them as we do planning and stuff like that. ClickUp's a big software for that. And then we have our client service director. She's in charge of making sure they're updated, the team's using them. And we measure this by looking at consistency in work and projects. So we use Toggle for time tracking, and the team tracks time against Bellavix, our agency, but they also track time against specific clients. So we know daily checks should take 20 to 30 minutes. And if they find it's taking longer, we'll have that employee read the SOP. If it's still an issue, we'll figure it out, or he's not the right fit. So those are the SOPs, and nothing too sexy about them. They're SOPs. They're probably my personally least favorite part of the business, but they're necessary. And then in terms of software, as an agency, we use probably the typical stuff most agencies use. We have QuickBooks, we use Slack for communications, Toggle for time tracking, ClickUp for task management. And on the Amazon side for pay-per-click or anything else, we use Merchant Springs, analytics. We'll use Techometrics, Ad Badger. The software for advertising varies, depends the size of the catalog and how technical it is. But those are pretty much our core. I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch. And my team probably has some better softwares they're currently using. But we're testing softwares all the time, to be honest with you. A big challenge now is like reporting. How do we get consistency in reporting? We have access to Amazon's API, so how do we build out a database with a pretty dashboard over it that we can have for individual clients? So right now, everything's built on Looker Studio, which is okay, but I mean, we need to level up. Looker Studio's only for certain size businesses.
What do you use to generate more clients?
We've been pretty lucky. All of our clients come through our blog. So I do personal thought leadership on LinkedIn. So I'll get a lot of inquiries just from content. And then Google, we write hundreds of articles at this point on everything that has to do with Amazon. So we've been lucky that most of our experience has been inbound, which is great. We haven't done much outbound. And to be honest with you, we hit sales capacity more often than we hit anything else. So, so we're really fortunate that most of the time finding talent is more of a challenge than finding businesses to work with. So we're really blessed in that area. I know a lot of other agency owners that work under different markets and conditions.
Yeah, I certainly know a bunch of as well on my side. How do you make sure to keep your clients other than recruiting top folks?
Keep the talent, competitive benefits. I mean, like anything else, we our coach has like this premise is like hire. You probably got this from somewhere, but hire 6 people, pay them like 10, and get the work of 20. So it's like that concept. So because we're a premium agency and we don't target small businesses, it's important on our end. Like the biggest differentiator between my agency and a lot of the other agencies out there is customer service and the ability to deliver on what we say we're going to deliver. And what that means is we need a experienced tactical team that can execute on that. So so we keep our talent around by paying them really well, giving them great benefits, and giving them some autonomy within their role so that they can grow with us and help us grow. So it's mutually beneficial.
And how do you recruit top folks in this market? Most folks don't want to work, it seems, nowadays.
Yeah, I know. LinkedIn, and then your typical like ZipRecruiter, Indeed. We pay for ads like I'm sure everybody else does, and we have a 5-step recruiting process that's like onboards. Our HR person does a pre-call to see if they're qualified. We have some standard questions we send them. When they answer the standard questions, we'll have a second interview. The second interview is a practical, so there's some type of exercise they need to do to present to us. Then they do a 4th interview with a peer, somebody they work directly with. And then they close out, if we make them a job offer, their interview with me, and I'll wrap it out and make the offer. So we've developed this pretty technical process because it's been really hard to hire and keep talent. And so what we found is getting people in early, honestly, and understanding their capabilities before we make the offer has been really helpful. But most of the people we're paying, 6-figure salaries, so it's not cheap.
And how much do you charge your clients typically?
It varies. Our average retainer for small catalog starts at 5K a month, and our typical range is between 10 and 15K a month, give or take. And a lot of it comes down to the size of the catalog. The bigger the catalog, the more work it takes.
I'm also seeing here if the blog is your main growth channel, as per se, you use SEMrush for that, right?
Yeah, we use SEMrush and Ahrefs, Ahrefs, I think it's what it's
The
called.
worst company name in history.
Yeah, I know. Talk about confusing, right? But yeah, we use those two. We have partnership with both, so they give us access to cool tools, which is great. And they honestly help more with content discovery and planning. I mean, outside of that, to your point, SEO, it's all long term. It's like a lot of that stuff just takes time.
100%. Okay, so we've covered like how you train your folks, you're growing the team, acquiring new clients, 5K pop. Now let's talk about like how you actually get your clients results.
Sure.
First, tell me what's the balance between Amazon and Walmart in terms of energy / money and time invested in these campaigns?
Sure. So so Amazon is actually great. So a lot of people will complain about it, and I'll jump on that bandwagon too because it's fun to poke fun at the big ones. But Amazon is a well-oiled machine. So it's got customer support. You could call somebody at Amazon and generally get some pretty good answers. Don't get me wrong, there's still issues that need to be worked out via case logs, and that could take some time. But overall, like typically there's not usually anything going on that's like crazy or hard to figure out. But a lot of traffic goes through there, a lot of sales volume goes through there. So it does take up the most amount of time. Advertising and operational, there's daily and weekly checks, and there's some type of strategy always being implemented, whether it's like promotional, email, posts, like whatever else they have, which is great. So Walmart is more work because the system's more rudimentary. So like super high level, Amazon wants you to buy on Amazon and ship it right to your house in same day to 2 days. Like that's the customer journey. Walmart and Target's customer journey, they want you to order online but pick up in the store. So third-party sellers who just sell online, they generally don't have favor with the algorithm, and it's a lot harder to get sales. It's also a lot more nuanced than like the steps you need to take to maintain good account health, to keep up on customer service, and to do advertising. So there's some nuances, challenges there. SEO works differently on both platforms. We find a lot of sellers will just copy over their Amazon stuff to Walmart and then wonder why they don't index. Walmart will only let you advertise if you rank in, I think, like the top 125 organic spots. So if you're not ranking, you also can't bid directly on competitors. So there's tons of challenges with the system just not being built out. Generally, whatever you're doing on Amazon, you could be doing 5 to 25% on Walmart, just because it's not as large of an audience. If you are a one-piece seller on Walmart, though, you sell in brick and mortar and you advertise, you can do great. You can make as much as your money as you make on Amazon on Walmart, but it's because they have that, they're able to pick up in store, so it adheres better to the customer journey they want. So I was trying to think if I left anything out. So yeah, that's the biggest difference. And then Target's worse than Walmart, but we only do advertising for them. So
Man, when I think of Walmart, I think in terms of retail. So if I would have to restart my physical product business, I would try to get back in these stores. Wouldn't you think to start or partner up with a cold email agency like mine to actually help these folks get into retail?
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, retail, like usually what we see for mature businesses, so they're in retail, they have online. It's usually like wholesale retail is usually number one, best performing in terms of sales. Then it could be the website or Amazon, and then you'll see other marketplaces below that. So if you could get any opportunity to get in physical brick and mortar stores, obviously the bigger the box store, the bigger the brand, the better. But I know there's a lot of pressure that comes with that as well. So being able to get it in the door, but being able to sell it, advertise it, and make your buyer look good on whatever platform that it is challenging. But cold emailing is the only way you're going to get in front of those people. So there's no reason why you wouldn't want to leverage, cold emailing.
Last question I have for you here, or last. So I have three, I think. But you work with your wife. How do you keep the relationship intact and thriving while being business partners?
Yeah, definitely just separation. So like Yvonne is in charge of
So
operations.
divorce, you're saying?
Yeah,
Separation.
it's separation. Good catch. I have to work on my language for that one.
I'll
Yeah,
send that one to your wife. I'll make a YouTube short
yeah,
there.
please do. Segmentation, I'll use that language, which would be much more appropriate. But yeah, so she's in charge of ops. So anything we learned early on is like if we work over each other, then we're just gonna have issues, and it spills over to your personal life. There's no way around it. If you work with somebody and you do this all day, it's hard not to talk about it at night. But establishing roles, so anything on sales, marketing, is kind of my hat. She does everything, recruiting, accounting, and then works with the operations team. So um, real lucky. She's the yin to my yang, so we're very opposites. So it happens to work out. And I don't know if it's agency life, but I see a lot of like even at Accelerate where I was last week, there are lots of agencies that are couples, are married. So I don't think it's as unusual as it used to be, but I still feel like a unicorn if that counts.
Yeah, it's not that unusual. I get to speak to at least once a week, and yeah, my wife is also the yin to my yang, opposite sort of. She's more like emotional. I'm more brainy and so forth. She's more creative. I'm more planner, executioner type of. Although I'm kind of wild too, but yeah, it's interesting the dynamics, and the why is probably because your partner, they get so much involved into your own business anyways. That's probably all you can talk about.
Yeah.
Normally it's like 70% of your life, so they're like, okay, why not help here, if they support you and so forth. So thank you for that one. What would be your top three goals for the rest of this year?
The rest of this year, we have some pretty aggressive recruiting goals. So we'd like to hire, I think, like 6 more positions, managers and specialists. So we're looking to train a larger workforce, and then probably increase sales. We want to have a healthy gross profit and more income, but within reason. Like we're very deliberate, so like we won't take on more brands than we can handle. So give or take, we're at 30 right now. It'd be great to get to 35 brands by the end of Q4, and that should support the recruiting and everything else, which would be great.
You're on your deathbed at the end of your life, what will you have want to accomplish?
Oh boy, what would I have wanted to accomplish? That's a good question. I guess for me, it's I would want to have accomplished something meaningful. So I'm like to do something philanthropic. I'm terrible at saying that word, but I like to get something like that. Whether it be prison reform or something with children would be great. So I don't know what they'd be saying to me, but the goal is to build generational wealth. But part of that is so that we can take our efforts and put them into projects that'll have a lasting impact on our community. So we're still early because we're still in the marketing game right now, but something we're working towards once we have more economic freedom.
Good job. All right, and that was Will Haire. I am Charles Cormier, host of founderwisdompodcast.com. Will, where can we find out more about you?
Yeah, definitely. So check me out at bellavix.com. You can check out our blogs and everything else. And then follow me on LinkedIn, Will Haire, like on your head with an E, Haire. I post pretty much regularly. So if you're a seller, if you sell on e-commerce or an agency owner, feel free to reach out, engage me, or some of my content is appreciated.